Hello YouTube, it's Kylie here, and today I will be walking you through step by step on editing the perfect fall photos. Before we get into the video today, you will need to download Lightroom. That is the app that we will be using to edit our videos. Please, before we get started, don't forget to like, comment, share, and tell me any new future video you'd like me to post. Let's get on to it. So I have the new iOS 14 update installed on my phone, and as you can see, Lightroom is already on my front screen, but I'm going to be going to my app library to get it, just so those of you who don't have it can see what the icon looks like. I will put it up right here anyways, just so you know exactly what it is. The first type of photo we are going to cover today is a nature photo. These photos are drastically different from your average person photo, so you will need to do different things for lighting, colors, stuff like that, and go to different extremes to get the fall vibe that you want. The first thing you'll need to do is tap the auto button, and then we will go into the lighting. There's exposure, contrast, highlights, shadows, blacks, and whites. And generally for your fall photos, you will need the contrast to make a darker kind of picture, just because during the fall it's not as sunny out, and so you will generally have a darker photo. So this means all the blacks will be down, all the shadows are down, and the lighting, the whites, and all of that will be less noticeable, and that just makes for a better photo. Next, you will need to go to your colors. These are your temperatures, and you will need more of a yellow and a purple tone just to make a fall vibe better and more noticeable. Always for fall photos, you need the vibrance to be up and the saturation down. So the vibrance will make you be able to notice all the colors and they pop out, but turning the saturation down makes it not so in your face. Next, you will need to go to your effects, and there are many different kinds of effects. The first one is a texture effect, and for this, texture is better for nature photos rather than people photos, so you will need the texture to be higher and the clarity also higher, so you can notice every detail in that photo. Next, you can go to dehaze, and as you can see, this picture is already not very hazy, but you can use dehaze to also make your photo darker and the shadows just as dark as they need to be. After this, the next thing you will need to do is put a vignette on your photo, and you will need to do it in the opposite direction, and this just makes your photo darker around the edges and gives it more of that late in the year vibe. There's also this sharpening tool in the detail section, but I find a lot of times you really erase a lot of the other editing you've done. And after you do all these steps, you can go back and continue editing your photo, just kind of mess around with it, see what you like best. After you have finished messing with all your little tools, you just slide down on the bar that shows you all of your editing tools, go to the top of the page, and press export to camera roll. After this, the app will tell you if the photo is successfully exported or if something went wrong, which in that case, you can basically just figure it out. It's really simple. After that, you can go to your camera, and from that point, you can see the before and after of the photo, see what you like, what you don't like, and hopefully it turned out really well. I think this one did. It kind of just enhances the photo, makes it look more fall, so I think we did a really good job here. So again, for our people photos, we want to go to Lightroom. I find that Lightroom is really great with any kind of photo, just because it really has so much variety on it, and it really helps with any kind of photo you want to edit. Right here I have this picture of a girl that I got off of Google, and I thought the picture looked really nice, but it could look way better. So again, the first thing we want to do is click the auto button, and this just helps set a base for what you want to do later. And for your people photos, we want the exposure to be up, just so that you can see every part of this picture, and for that we want the contrast to be up as well. And for the highlights, we want the highlights to be down because the exposure was up, just so that it's not so much brightness. And we want the shadows to be down. This just makes so that the shadows are more in depth and they're more noticeable. After that, we will want the whites to be down because we did the exposure again, and the blacks to be up. This just balances out the photo. As you can tell, it makes it look really nice. And for the colors, we will want again the yellow and the purple. So the yellow for your temperature and the purple for your tint. And again, for this, we want the vibrance to be up and the saturation down. But for our people photos, the saturation being down doesn't matter quite as much, just because for the nature photos you will have a lot of colors, and so that is why we don't want the saturation to be quite as high on the nature photos. But for people photos, it doesn't really matter what you do with the saturation. It just kind of matters on what looks best with the photo. Next, when you go to effects, you will want your texture to be down and your clarity up. This kind of balances out the photo and it makes it more enhanced and look better, but not really grainy. For your dehaze, it really doesn't matter, but you normally want your dehaze to be on the higher end of the spectrum. This just kind of makes it a little bit more enhanced, but with the people photos, it's not as important as the nature photos. For your vignette, you will always, for a person fall photo, want it to be on the lower end of the spectrum. This gets it dark around the edges and really puts in that fall vibe in the picture. Sharpening, again, isn't really that important with your people photos just as much as it is with your nature photos, so I just left that off. And once again, you will click the top corner and press export to photos, and if it was successfully exported, you can go back to your camera and check the before and after, see if it looks good to you, and I think this one looks a lot better. You can tell me if it looks better to you in the comments below, but I think that one we did really good on. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like my content and want to see more of my videos, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Tell me what the next video you think I should post is, and we'll see you next time. Bye!